Hi everybody and welcome to the World History Post-Test Number 1 review video. Let's get going. Number 1. The 13 American colonies opposed the Sugar Act, Stamp Act, and Tea Act because these acts were passed by the colonial legislatures, interfered with colonial trade with Europe, violated the right of no taxation without representation, or made these products unavailable. Correct answer is that it violated the right of no taxation without representation, which actually was not a right until after the US became a country. So it's kind of a trick question a little bit there. Which was a basic cause of the American Revolution? The example that was given by the 30 Years' War, Britain's decision to unite the 13 colonies under one governor, Britain's decision to tighten its control over the 13 colonies, or Parliament's repeal of the British mercantile system. Our correct answer is their decision to tighten their control over the 13 colonies. Both the American Revolution of 1776 and the French Revolution of 1789 were partially caused by governments persecuting religious leaders, foreign armies invading, the system of feudalism, or unfair taxes. Our correct answer is unfair taxes. Napoleon Bonaparte came to power in France by direct election by the French people, appointment by the French Supreme Court, a law passed by the French legislature, or an overthrow of the French government. Correct answer is an overthrow of the French government. When nations try to maintain the balance of power, they promote equality among social classes, try to prevent domination by one country, tried to reduce their armies, or promote peace among nations. Correct answer is that they tried to prevent domination by one country. Simon Bolivar dreamed of United States of South America. Besides geography, which factor made that dream impossible? The new governments were having financial difficulties. There was jealousy and distrust among the national leaders, or Bolivar himself became a dictator. The correct answer is all of the above. Though you got to address, though, that if you are the person who really wants this thing to happen, and at the same time you can't trust the other leaders of the other countries, you're kind of put in a position to where the only choice is to kind of make yourself the ruler until it's a safe environment. That's kind of what happened in Cuba, though things kind of happened there that changed that. So moving on. John Locke's first and second treatises on government were written in defense of which event? The French Revolution, American Revolution, Puritan Revolution, or Glorious Revolution? Our correct answer is the Glorious Revolution. During the European Enlightenment, the democratic idea emerged that governments get their power from the will of the people, a supreme being, the established church, or a hereditary nobility. Correct answer is the will of the people. The Reign of Terror during the French Revolution led to the execution of thousands of people suspected of treason, defeat and exile of Napoleon, storming of the Bastille, restoration of the king to the throne. Correct answer is that thousands of people were executed that were suspected of treason. That's the first option. During the Meiji period, Japan began building an empire, as Europe had done. Wars with China and Russia at the turn of the 20th century led to Japanese control over which country? The Philippines, Australia, Korea, or Vietnam? Correct answer is Korea. Which of the following terms refers to the action taken by the United States and Japan to restrict Japanese immigration to the United States in the early 20th century? The Chinese Exclusion Act, the Gentleman's Agreement, Monroe Doctrine, or the Sherman Antitrust Act? Correct answer is Gentleman's Agreement. The period of Tokugawa rule from 1603 to 1868 was one of relative peace. Which of the following was a method used by the Tokugawa to control its enemies? Land was distributed to daimyo based on their loyalty. Through the policy of Sankin Kotai, daimyo were required to live in Edo every other year. Guns were banished, or all of the above. Our correct answer is all of the above. Which of the following actions were not taken by the Meiji government as part of their attempt to modernize? Students were sent overseas to study. Transportation and communication systems were developed. Businesses were sold at a discount to private individuals, or robots were used extensively throughout business. Correct answer is the last one, robots, because at this time they did not exist. When did Commodore Matthew Perry of the U.S. Navy open Japan to U.S. trade? 1638, 1853, 1668, or 1912? Correct answer is 1853. By the 20th century, Japan had already begun its political and economic expansion into East Asia. In 1910, Japan annexed what country? China, Korea, Russia, or Vietnam? The correct answer is Korea. The use of mass production decreased the size of factories, made production faster and cheaper, improved conditions for industrial workers, or decreased the need for business capital. The only one then that's true is that it made production faster and cheaper. The Industrial Revolution resulted in decreased agricultural production, improved working conditions, the movement of people to the cities, or better paying jobs. Only one of those that's true is the movement of people to the cities. As a result of the Industrial Revolution, there was an increase in the number of guilds, price of manufactured goods, production of goods, or number of small farms. Correct answer is the production of goods. The commercial revolution of the 16th and 17th centuries led to the Industrial Revolution by promoting democracy in European nations, expanding and strengthening capitalism, introducing new industrial techniques from Asia, increasing the number of farms in Europe. Correct answer is that it expanded and strengthened capitalism. Three of the following improvements in agriculture that helped to bring on the agricultural revolution are correctly paired with their inventor or discoverer, which is not. The Mechanical Reaper by Cyrus McCormick, Rolled Steel Plow by John Deere, Seed Drill, Charles Townsend, Scientific Breeding of Livestock, Robert Bakewell. Correct answer is the Seed Drill and Charles Townsend. Three of the following are reasons why the Industrial Revolution began in England, which is not. English business people had plenty of capital to invest. England had many of the raw materials needed for industrialization. England's population was larger than most of European nations, or England's colonies provided markets for manufactured goods. The correct answer is England's population was larger than most other European nations. In which country did the Industrial Revolution occur last? Germany, United States, Russia, or France? Correct answer is Russia, which is why their communist revolution didn't work out too well, because Marx intended for advanced capitalist societies to actually turn to communism, not agrarian feudalist societies. During the 19th century, what was a major purpose of pools, trusts, and cartels? Promote socialist policies, share management skills, reduce competition, or promote better relations with labor unions? Correct answer is that it reduces competition between businesses. Think of a cartel as something that controls an entire industry. So like the drug cartel, they make the stuff, they bring it here, and they sell it. They do all of those things. So they control the whole market. Three of the following are basic ideas of Marxism, which is not. The establishment of a communist society will be achieved democratically by the working class through the use of the ballot. The value of goods produced in a society derives solely from the human labor involved in its production. Economic forces largely determine the events and institutions of history and society, or the history of society has chiefly been the history of the struggle between different economic classes. The correct answer is the top one, which if you talked to any modern communist, they would disagree with that, and they would say that communism is actually best achieved through democracy. So maybe that's why all the communist countries haven't done so well. That's it. So everybody, thanks for joining me for a test review. Good luck on your test. Let me know if you have any questions. Look forward to hearing from you. Have a good day.